The human brain remains active for approximately 7 minutes after the heart stops beating. 7 minutes. 420 seconds. What could you experience in 7 minutes? Emma Chen's eyes opened to sunlight streaming through half-closed blinds. Tuesday morning. The alarm on her phone glowed 7:43 a.m. She reached over to silence it, her hand moving through the familiar routine she'd performed 1,000 times before. Everything felt normal. The apartment smelled like coffee, strange because she hadn't made any yet. Her boyfriend Marcus must have started the machine before leaving for his early gym session. Thoughtful, as always. She swung her legs out of bed, feet touching the cold hardwood floor. Her phone buzzed. A text from her best friend Riley. "Coffee at 9? Usual place?" Emma smiled, typing back quickly. "See you there." She showered, dressed, grabbed her keys. The apartment looked exactly as it should. Framed photos on the wall, her and Marcus at the beach last summer, Riley's birthday dinner, her parents' anniversary. Normal. Comforting. But as she locked the door behind her, something felt wrong. Not wrong exactly, different. Like when you walk into a room and forget why you came. That disorienting sensation that reality shifted while you weren't paying attention. The coffee shop was 3 blocks away. Emma walked the route automatically, her mind elsewhere. She'd been having strange dreams lately. Vivid, intense dreams that felt more real than memory. Dreams of screaming metal and shattered glass. Dreams of darkness so complete it felt alive. She shook her head, pushing the thoughts away. Riley sat in their usual corner booth, scrolling through her phone. Emma approached, raising her hand in greeting. "Hey, sorry if I'm late, Riley looked up and screamed. Not a surprised gasp, not a startled yelp. A genuine, terror-filled scream that tore through the cafe like a siren. Riley's phone clattered to the table, her chair scraping backward as she stood, stumbling, her face drained of all color. "No, no, 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 no," Riley's voice cracked, her hand covering her mouth. "This isn't... You're not..." Emma froze. "Riley? What's wrong? It's me, it's..." "You're dead!" Riley shrieked, backing away. "You died! You died 3 months ago! You're not real! This isn't..." The cafe tilted. Every eye turned toward Emma. She looked down at her hands, solid, real, warm. She touched her face. Real. She was here. She was alive. "Riley, what are you talking about? I'm right here. But Riley was already running, pushing through the door, disappearing into the street, leaving behind her phone, her coffee, her bag, everything. Emma stood in the center of the cafe, surrounded by staring faces. Some looked confused, others looked afraid. One woman in the corner had tears streaming down her face, whispering something that looked like a prayer. This wasn't happening. This couldn't be happening. Emma pulled out her phone with trembling hands. She opened her browser, typed her own name, Emma Chen, Seattle. The first result was an obituary. Emma Louise Chen, 29, died tragically on August 3rd in a single-vehicle accident on Highway 522. Beloved daughter, devoted girlfriend, cherished friend. Memorial service held August 10th. In lieu of flowers, donations may be made to... August 3rd. 3 months ago. But that was impossible. She was alive. She was standing here. She had memories of the past 3 months. She remembered September, Marcus's promotion party. She remembered October, helping Riley move into her new apartment. She remembered yesterday. She remembered this morning. Emma walked. She didn't remember leaving the cafe, but suddenly she was on the street, moving without destination. Her fingers scrolled through her phone, finding more impossible things. Her social media accounts memorialized. Remembering Emma Chen at the top of her profile. Comments from friends. Miss you every day. Still can't believe you're gone. 3 months and it still doesn't feel real. Photos people posted. Her funeral. She saw Marcus in a black suit, his face destroyed by grief. She saw Riley sobbing into her mother's shoulder. She saw her parents, aged a decade in a single moment. She called Marcus. Hello? His voice. Real. Alive. Normal. Marcus, it's me, it's Emma. Something insane is happening. Riley saw me and she... Who is this? Confusion. Not recognition. Is this some kind of sick joke? Marcus, it's Emma, your girlfriend. We live together. We've been together for 4 years. Marcus, please. Listen, I don't know who you are or what you think you're doing, but Emma died 3 months ago. And if this is your idea of a prank, you're a truly horrible person. The world was wrong. Reality was broken. Or she was. Emma found herself standing outside her apartment building. She had lived here for 2 years. She had keys. She had memories. She belonged here. She rode the elevator to the 4th floor, walked to Unit 4C, slid her key into the lock. It turned. The apartment was different. Her photos were gone, replaced by pictures of Marcus with another woman. Blonde, smiling, her arm around Marcus's waist. In Emma's home. In Emma's life. The furniture was rearranged. Different curtains hung in the windows. The coffee maker, a new model, sleek and expensive, nothing like the one she remembered. Can I help you? Emma spun. A woman stood in the bedroom doorway, the blonde from the photos. Wearing a robe Emma didn't recognize, in an apartment that should have been Emma's. Who are you? The woman asked, reaching for her phone. How did you get in here? I live here. This is my apartment. I live here with Marcus. The woman's expression shifted from confusion to concern. Marcus hasn't had a girlfriend in months. Not since Emma died. Look, I don't know what's going on with you, but you need to leave before I call the police. Emma ran. She ran until her lungs burned, until her legs threatened to collapse. She found herself in a park she didn't remember visiting, sitting on a bench she didn't remember seeing. Think. Option 1. Everyone was lying. Some elaborate, coordinated prank. But why? And how could they fake an obituary, social media, an entire funeral? Option 2. She was insane. Hallucinating. Having a psychotic break. Option 3. She really had died. And whatever this was, wasn't life. Emma closed her eyes, forcing herself to remember. Really remember. The past 3 months. September. Marcus's promotion party. She could see it clearly. The restaurant, the champagne, his speech thanking everyone. But the details were fuzzy. Who else was there? What did they eat? What was she wearing? The memory felt thin, like a photograph rather than an experience. October. Helping Riley move. She remembered carrying boxes, painting walls. But what color? What did they talk about? What music played? Gone. All of it. Vague. Impressionistic. But earlier memories, before August, those were vivid, sharp, real. Emma pulled out her phone again, hands shaking so badly she could barely type. She searched for the accident report. Single vehicle collision, Highway 522, August 3rd, 11:47 p.m. Emma Chen, 29, driving a 2019 Honda Civic, lost control on a curve during heavy rain. Vehicle left the roadway, struck a tree. Driver pronounced dead at scene. Preliminary investigation suggests hydroplaning contributed to loss of control. 11:47 p.m. Emma checked the date and time on her phone. November 3rd. 11:40 a.m. Exactly 3 months. Almost to the hour. A memory surfaced. Not from the past 3 months. From before. She was driving. Night. Rain hammering the windshield, wipers struggling to keep up. She was upset. Why? A fight with Marcus? She couldn't remember. But she was crying, driving too fast, and the road curved, and she turned the wheel and... Emma gasped, back in the present. But was it the present? Or was it... She started researching, phone screen glowing in the park shade. She searched for brain activity after death, near-death experiences, last moments of consciousness, article after article, studies, theories. The brain doesn't die immediately. It continues processing. 7 minutes. Some studies suggested awareness could persist, that in those final minutes, the dying brain might experience a lifetime of memories, sensations, thoughts. Time dilation. Moments stretching into hours, hours into days, days into months. What if she had died in that crash? What if her body was gone, but her brain, in those final 7 minutes, was creating this? A fantasy. A dream of continued existence. 3 months of fake memories. 3 months of a life that never happened. 3 months that, in reality, was only... minutes. Emma stood, a terrible certainty settling over her. She started walking again, this time with purpose. She knew where she needed to go. Highway 522. She took a bus to the edge of the city, walked the rest of the way. The highway stretched ahead, curving through dense forest. Rain began to fall, light at first, then heavier, just like that night. She walked along the shoulder, cars whooshing past, spraying water. She knew the curve. Somehow, she knew exactly where it happened. And then she saw it. The tree. Massive, old, unmistakable. Its trunk bore a scar, fresh enough to still show bare wood beneath damaged bark. Flowers lay at its base, wilted and rain-soaked. A small memorial sign. Emma Chen, taken too soon, forever in our hearts. Emma approached slowly. Around the tree, evidence of the crash remained. Gouges in the earth, fragments of red plastic, her taillight, a piece of chrome trim, and something else. She knelt, reaching into the wet grass. Her fingers closed around something small and cold. Her phone case. The purple one with the constellation pattern Riley gave her for her birthday. Cracked. Stained with something dark. This was real. The crash was real. Which meant... You're starting to understand. Emma spun. A man stood behind her, older, maybe 60, wearing a rain jacket. Kind eyes, sad smile. "Who are you?" Emma demanded. "Someone like you," he said gently. "Someone who couldn't let go." "I don't understand." "Yes, you do. You just don't want to accept it." He gestured to the tree, the memorial, the fragments of her car. This is where it ended, Emma. 3 months ago. Your body is gone, but your mind, your consciousness, it held on. 7 minutes, Emma whispered. He nodded. 7 minutes that feel like 3 months. The brain's last desperate attempt to process, to survive, to continue. It creates a reality, familiar, comfortable. It tries to give you more time, but it's not real. It's real to you, and that's all that matters, for a little while. Emma felt tears streaming down her face, mixing with rain. How much time do I have left? The man checked his watch, an old analog, the kind you wind by hand. Minutes, maybe less. It's different for everyone. But you're close now. The illusion is breaking down. You've seen the cracks. You can't unsee them. What happens when the 7 minutes end? I don't know, he admitted. No one does. Maybe nothing. Maybe something. Maybe everything. But fighting it won't help. You can't go back, Emma. You can only go forward. Emma looked at the tree, the memorial, the fragments of her shattered life. Then she looked at her hands. They seemed more transparent now, less solid. I'm scared, she whispered. I know. The man's voice was impossibly gentle. But you don't have to be alone. Look around. Emma turned. The forest beside the highway wasn't empty anymore. People stood among the trees, dozens of them, hundreds. Some she recognized, faces from obituaries, missing person posters, news stories. Others were strangers, all of them waiting at the edge of something. We're all here, the man said. Everyone who couldn't quite let go. Everyone who needed a little more time. You're not alone, Emma. You never were. Emma took a step toward the forest, then another. The rain began to fade. The highway sounds dimmed. Reality, or what she thought was reality, started to dissolve like watercolor in rain. She turned back one last time. Marcus, Riley, my parents. Do they know? Can they feel that I'm still here? In their way, the man said. Dreams, sensations, moments where they feel you close. It's not much, but it's something. And when you're ready to truly let go, when these 7 minutes finally end, maybe you'll find them again, someday, somewhere. Emma nodded. She understood now. This wasn't about fighting. This wasn't about clinging to a life that had already ended. This was about acceptance. This was about letting go. She walked into the forest. The others walked with her, a silent procession moving toward... what? Light? Darkness? Something beyond comprehension? Emma thought of Marcus. She hoped he'd be happy with the blonde woman. She hoped he'd remember her fondly, but not painfully. She thought of Riley. She hoped her best friend would laugh again, love again, live fully. She thought of her parents. She hoped they'd find peace. And she thought of herself, Emma Chen, 29 years old, who died on a rainy highway, but got 7 more minutes. 7 minutes that felt like 3 months. 7 minutes to say goodbye, even if no one could hear. The forest grew brighter, not with sunlight, but with something else, something warm and vast and impossible to name. Emma's last thought, in the final seconds of her 7 minutes was simple. Thank you. The human brain remains active for approximately 7 minutes after the heart stops beating. 7 minutes. 420 seconds. What could you experience in 7 minutes? Everything.